Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So good to see you all here on Zoom. We have quite a good turnout today. So how are you all doing?
Good.
Very
Hare
good,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Doing good
Krishna.
Mataji.
Very nice. Very nice.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Namaste. Good, good, good. Okay, so are we ready?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm recording this
Yes.
session and we
Hare
are
Krishna.
on Facebook also. Dandavat Pranam, Varshana Mataji. And I'm going to start sharing the screen with you. And somebody has sent some chat message there.
Yeah,
What is
I can't read Shraddha
Oh,
Mataji
you
today.
can't say, oh. Oh,
Sorry.
okay. All righty, here we go. Can you see that?
Yes.
So minimize it here and then going back again here. So I will give you the reading order. I'll just wait for a few more to join if they're joining, and then we'll get started here. So Vikyapti Panchaka prayers after a brief prayer to the spiritual master. Om Ajnanatimarandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Matsamo nasti papatma naparadhi cha kaschana parihare pilajjame kim bhruve purushottama yutinam yatha yuni yunam cha yuto yatha manobhiramte tadvan manome ramatam tvai bhumau skhalita padanam bhumiravalambanam त्वयि जातापराधानां त्वमेव शरणं प्रभु गोविन्दा वल्लभे राधे प्रार्थये त्वामहं सदा त्वदीयं निति जानातु गोविन्दो मां त्वया सह राधे वृन्दावनाधीशे करुणामृतवाहिनी कृपया निजपादाब्जा दास्यं माह्यं प्रदीयताम्. Okay, so we are done with the Sanskrit. We are ready for the English. But before that, we need to have the reading order, isn't it? Okay, so let's see what do we have on the chat window. It's only Sonal Mataji who cannot read. So I will just go here in the order in which they show up on my chat window. I'm sorry because I didn't notice who was joining today. And the chat window actually shows things in an alphabetical order, shows the name in the alphabetical order. So we will go first with Aruni Mataji, then we will be followed by, oh no, maybe it doesn't do that. Namazya Mataji. Wow, yeah. Normally it shows them by in the alphabetical order. And if they're all muted. So then the revised order is Archana, you are going first. Aruni Mataji, you are after Archana Mataji. Then Sadhana Mataji, you are after, oh, sorry. Namazya, don't unmute yourself. It messes up my schedule. Then we have Namazya. And Namazya, will you be able to read today?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, okay. So I'm just going to mute you temporarily, okay? Namazya, then Sonal Mataji cannot read, she said. Then we have Sadhana Mataji. All right. So we have Sadhana Mataji here, then we have Sukharupa Mataji, then we have Sutapa Mataji, and then we have Varshana Mataji. And I will not read so that you all get a chance to do a little bit more reading. So again, I'm announcing the reading order. Please remember the person before you and after you. Archana Mataji goes first, followed by Aruni Mataji, then Namazya Mataji, then Sadhana Mataji, then Sukharupa Mataji, then Sutapa Mataji, and then Varshana Mataji. Okay, So going in first will be Archana Mataji, and I'm going to unmute you all and allow you to mute yourself. So Archana, please go ahead. And
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
okay, I got the message. Yeah, I got the message about Arushi being able to read. So we will squeeze in Arushi with you, Sukharupa Mataji. Okay. All right.
Okay, Mataji, shall I start?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you so much. O Purushottama, no sinner or offender is as bad as I am. How can I describe my shame? Just as the minds of young ladies take pleasure in a young man, and the minds of young men take pleasure in a young woman, kindly let my mind take pleasure in you alone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Let me just scroll this up a little bit for you to read. Okay. Who's next?
Is me, Namasha?
Aruni Mataji.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Whoops. Are the only shelter for those who have offended you. Do I carry on?
You just one.
Okay.
Okay. Namaste.
Okay, so which one we do? Just as the ground? Oh, Shri Ratimari Dhararani, beloved of Lord Govinda, this is my request. May you and Lord Govinda consider me one of your assistants?
Sadhana Mataji. Sadhana Mataji is reading on.
Yes. O Srimati Radharani, beloved of Lord Govinda, this is my request. May you and Lord Govinda consider me one of your assistants.
Okay, we did it 2 times, but that's fine. Next one, Sukharupa. You are on mute, Sukharupa. So Sukharupa is not there, and then her daughter Arushi is also not.
Mataji.
Now there is too much of Sukharupa.
Which one do I read? Actually, I thought
Last one. I don't know. We are getting an echo from you. I think one of you has to mute your daughter, and you one. I think you could be on both on different.
Radharani. Queen of Vrindavan, you are a river flowing with the nectar of mercy. Please be kind to me and give me a little service of your lotus feet.
At your lotus feet. Okay. And then we also have Sulekha Mataji who joined us. Is that right? I saw that name pop up. Sulekha Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Are you in a position to read?
Just joined. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then Garima?
No, Mataji, I can't read.
Garima cannot read. And I have my scribe. Suyash Prabhu has joined. Suyash Prabhu? Are you in a
Can't read. He cannot read.
He cannot read. He wrote that. Okay.
Yeah.
So if he cannot read, most likely he cannot write also. So
You say the names. I can put it in the chat window if you.
All right. Thank you so much. Archana, Aruni, Aruni, Namazya, Sadhana, Sukharupa.
It does the spell check. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Arushi, they'll figure it out. Arushi, Sutapa, Varshana, Sulekha. Anybody I'm missing? Everybody's in? Okay. Alrighty. So let's go. Who's coming next? Varshana Mataji?
Arushi Mataji.
Arushi Mataji. Okay. So Arushi Mataji. Sukharupa?
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Okay, you can write?
Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji, who is before me? I could not hear you.
It's me, Mataji, Varshana Mataji.
Okay. Oh.
It's also written, I think. Suyash Prabhu is going to write. Oh, Sadhana Mataji is writing it down somewhere on
Yeah. Yeah. Apologize about the spelling. My spell checker was correcting me without.
Thank you so much for doing that. I like Sulekha's name. Sulekha, you have a new name now.
It was Mataji's, and it turned it into that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is, initiated by Zoom. All right, so let's get going with Arushi Mataji going in first.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadi Ashya Yato Yavyad Ita Ratas Shartes Abhijna Swarat Tene Brahma Hirda Ya Adi Kavaye Muhayanti Ya Suraya Tejo Vari Mritam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Tri Sargo Risa Damna Swena Sada Nirasta Kuhaka Satyam Param Dimahi.
Very nice. Who's next?
Yes, Mataji. Synonyms: Om, O my Lord. Namaha, offering my obeisances. Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead. Vasudevaya, unto Vasudev, the son of Vasudev. O Lord Krishna, the primeval Lord. Janmadi, creation, sustenance, and destruction. Ashya, of the manifested universes. Yata, from whom. Anvayat, directly. Itarataha, indirectly. Cha, and. Arthesu, purposes. Avijnana, fully cognizant. Shara, fully independent. Pene, imparted. Brahma, the Vedic knowledge. Rida, consciousness of the heart. Ya, one who. Adi Kavaya, unto the original created being. Mohanti are illusioned, yet about whom. Shuraha, great sages and demigod. Varshana Mataji, you can read.
Great sages and demigods. Tejaha, fire. Vari, water. Mritam, earth. Yatha, as much as. Vinimayaha, action and reaction. Yatra, whereupon. Three sarga, three modes of creation, creative faculties. Amarsha, almost factual. Dhamna,
say that one again.
Amrisha.
There you go.
Amrisha, almost factual.
Amrisha.
Amrisha.
Yeah.
Amrisha, almost factual. Dhamna, along with all transcendental paraphernalia. Swaina, self-sufficiently. Sada, always. Nirasta, negation by absence. Absolute. Dhimahi, I do meditate upon. Translation. Hare Krishna. May I continue with the translation?
We'll have to ask the next person in line for permission.
Okay.
I can't give that permission. I don't have the power to veto. I can only scroll it up and wait. Who's next in line? Do we know?
Anuni.
After Varshana?
I think it's me, Mataji, Sulekha.
Sulekha Mataji.
Yeah, I think somebody wanted to continue reading, so please go ahead.
Varshana Mataji, you got permission to read.
Okay. O my Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusionary representation of the water seen in fire or land seen in water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusionary representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Hare Krishna.
Reflection time. Vashana Mata, do you have some reflections on what you read?
I meditate upon him.
Very nice. Anybody else?
Yes, Mataji. My prayer is that I should be free from the material, the illusory energy of the material world forever. And for that, which is not, it's very difficult, and forever we need like this kind of association, of course, the book and everything. And can I add a small story with that?
Sure.
About the association, Mataji, one day, a milk and yogurt, like dahi, they were traveling from Vrindavan to Delhi. And like when they were traveling, there were so many bumpers in the road. So the milk was coming out from there was a break. So the milk was coming out from that container. But the he is so cool and so calm. So Milk was asking, what happened? We are coming from the same mother. You are my brother, but still you are so calm. You are not at all like worried because there was no single drop of coming from the container. So he told, okay, you do one thing. You take some from me and put it in your own body. Then you will become like me.
Very nice.
So
very
it is
nice.
like the association means the more we'll get, the more we can continue the devotional on the devotional path, I guess.
There you go. Yeah. So you have got good. You have got a good intention, right, to get out of the clutches of Maya.
Yes.
Good. And you're thinking of association. Yes. May Krishna grant you more and more and more association so that your wish gets fulfilled. Very good. Okay. More reflections.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I like this line specially in 1.1.1. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. This struck my mind actually. It's very nice.
Very good. And what does it mean?
Actually, Mataji here, he's saying like Lord Krishna, he only for the first time, he imparted the Vedic knowledge onto the first living being, who is Lord Brahma, through the medium of heart. So Lord Krishna is the supreme authority from whom all the knowledge of transcendental knowledge of the Vedas is transported from. Yeah.
What is the word for transcendental? What is the word used for Vedas there?
Vedas. Let me just see, Mataji.
Brahma.
Brahma, yeah.
There you go.
The Vedic
right.
knowledge, Brahma, yeah.
What is the word for Brahma? You said that
Adi
the Ved-
Kavaye. Adi
Adi,
Kavaye.
right? So yeah, have that distinction in the mind, right? That Brahma
Yeah.
there is not talking about Brahma as we know. It is
Yeah.
the Shastras, Shabda Brahma, and then Adi Kavaye is what Brahma is.
Yeah, the original living being, first original living being. Yeah.
Can I share something, Mataji?
Yes, please.
Today, whenever my code was not working, I started singing this verse and it automatically got worked.
There you go. you have revealed the secret of the Silicon Valley. Henceforward, there'll be zero bug software coming up.
You just made my day.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that even if you go and tell this to people, they still won't be, willing to do that. It's the faith. Yeah, it's the faith in the name of the Lord that makes it happen. Very nice.
Mataji, I would also like to share something. Today, even I was trying to, sing this particular verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, first verse 1.1.1. And I tried, listening to one of the Prabhu's voice, and, it was very nice. I was just humming this verse throughout the day. I didn't memorize it, but I was, continuously singing it. So it was good. Very nice. Transcendental feeling. Yeah.
You are in software development?
Mataji. No, I'm from life sciences background.
All right, good. Okay, so anything else? Anybody else wants to share? Did anybody else join us by any chance? Did anybody leave us? I don't know what happened. Did Lakshmi Mataji join?
I joined Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I joined.
Hare Krishna.
But I cannot read.
Actually, you join, you cannot read, but
I'll be on
you can read. Okay.
listening mode.
Okay. All right. So we'll add Vijay Lakshmi Mataji
Yeah.
to the reading order.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. And then who goes now to read? Is Sulekha Mataji will go to read, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now today we're going to have we're going to read from second chapter of Bhagavad-gita, but we'll start from the second half of that because we have covered all the verses from the first half of Bhagavad-gita. What do you say about that? You can congratulate yourself for doing that. So Sulekha Mataji, and then for those of you who are new, I just wanted to let you know some of the rules here. And that is that when we are reading from the poem, right, which is like the Vigyapti Panchaka, we only do one verse, okay? But when we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, we do two translations each, okay? So just keep that in mind. So here, we'll be doing two translations, and today we will be doing from verse number 39 onwards.
Mataji, I'm only seeing 34 on my screen. So you said 39 onwards, right?
39.
Yeah.
There.
Okay. So text 39. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Pṛthā, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Text 40. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear.
Hare Krishna. So I just wanted to point out, again, Sulekha Mataji, since you are new, and also Lakshmi Mataji, that's on the website that we have for these reading sessions, nityasankirtan.com. On the tab, there's a tab for Bhagavad Gita, and there is there's a document called Sanskrit Pronunciation Guide, which kind of helps you read Sanskrit, read Sanskrit in English language, English transcript, transcription. So, so here, I just wanted to point out, and I was pointing out to Varshana Mataji also, is this R which is not underneath is as if it is R and I written there. So it becomes a Re. So it is not Ra. This will not be Pṛthā, it will be Pṛthā, right?
Pṛthā. Okay, okay.
So these kind of nuances are written there in that document, so which will help you read.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Yes, and then sometimes, we are so conditioned from pronouncing things in a particular way our whole life that it becomes very difficult to learn something new. And that's why I keep on pointing it out again and again, because if we have samskaras, right, which is etchings in the mind on how a certain word has to be pronounced, it'll control the tongue. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, lowest is the dull matter, above the matter is the senses, above the senses is the mind. So if your mind thinks that this is Pṛthā, then it'll force the tongue to say Pṛthā, right? But then when your ears hear me shouting, then the mind will also write and say, yeah, if I say that, I'm scolding. So then, and this is the way that, all the bad samskaras will be replaced by good samskaras. And the example that I've given is that, it's almost like if you have a pot full of black ink and you start pouring milk into it, the more milk that you pour, the blackness will ultimately disappear. So similarly, all the anarthas that we have, all the interpretations, etc., that we have, are all there. In fact, it's so amazing that my daughter sent me a clip yesterday of my granddaughter, and she's tiny, about a little more than a year old, and she just learned how to put on shoes. So she was trying to put on shoes because the mom was saying that I'm going to take you out for a walk. Let's put on the shoes, and she could not put on the shoes, so she got frustrated. And so she had one foot in one shoe, barely in. The second, she was struggling very badly. And then in frustration, she took off the one which was half in, and she threw it towards the bag. Then she took off the other one, she threw it to the bag. Then she was so annoyed. She went after the shoes, took that shoe and threw it further out. And I was telling to my Prabhuji, I was like, her parents did not teach her that this is coming from previous birth. This is a samskara. That, if you get annoyed at things, you just throw them like that. And so I was just, dumbstruck. And then her mom was very calm and quiet. Mom was telling me, okay, let's go out, bring the shoes. And then she went somewhere else, tried to look at the shoe underneath the bed. She was looking for another pair of shoes because she was angry with that particular pair. So she was looking for another pair. And then she was frustrated. And then she went to her mom and then she fell at her mom's feet. And I was thinking, see, she's enacting the life story of a Jiva soul. Struggle, we try to control, we get angry. And ultimately, you have to go to our Father, Krishna, and surrender up to him. The sooner you surrender, the better it is. Like that. Samskaras are very strong. We are fighting with our samskaras all the time. And devotional service is just that. Devotional service is just that we have to peel off the layers of bad samskaras that are etched there. And once you peel them all off, and then all the anarthas which are residing on our mind, and the bad samskaras are so much on our mind that although our mind is a mirror, it looks like a screen because it is so much covered with the dust of anarthas. It's like a screen on which you can project certain things. So your eyes will capture something from outside, it will project it on the screen of the mind, and soul will see from inside like that. But once all this is removed, when all the dust is removed from the mind, right, then the mirror will shine through. And the soul who has been looking at this so-called mirror come screen all along, when the soul looks into the mirror, what will it see? It will see itself, right? So devotional service is all about just removing the anarthas that we have. That's all. Single point agenda. I have to cheto darpanam marjanam. That's all we have to do. Now, the difficult thing is that there is no spray bottle that we can get and wipe it clean. It has to be hearing, it will go through hearing of Krishna Katha. So those of you who are not in a position to speak today, I'm hoping that you're listening. But don't feel bad if you're not able to read, because the essence is to hear, right? Okay, now let's continue with the next two verses. And who's in line?
It's me, Mataji.
Vijay Lakshmi Mataji want to read?
Yeah, Vijay Lakshmi Mataji, if she wants to read, she can go ahead.
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah, Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Text 41. Those who are in this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, The intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branches. Text 42 and 43. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommended various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resilient good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. Hare Krishna.
In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Text 45. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Hare Krishna.
Text 46. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Text 47. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Perform your duty equipoised. O Arjuna, abandoning all attachments to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. O Dhanayana, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that conscientious surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of the work are misers. Hare Krishna.
Text 50. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions even in this life. Therefore strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. Text 51. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead.
Text. Hare Krishna. Text 52. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. When your mind is disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness.
Text 54. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak, and what is the language? How does he sit, and how does he walk? Text 55. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Pṛthā, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be pure transcendental consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, text 56. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst of threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage steady mind. Text 57. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it or nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Shulekha Mataji.
Sorry, I was a bit distracted. What text is this? Okay. Text 58. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Text 59. Through the embodied soul may be, though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Khyati, are you in a position to read? Khyati, well.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, I can read.
Okay. 16.
Oh, 1 second. I think, yeah, your screen. Okay. You said 60, right? The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they are forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of a discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me is always a man of steady intelligence.
Then we go back to Arjuna. Is that what is it?
No, we have Vijay Lakshmi Mataji.
Lakshmi Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Text 62. While contemplating the objects of the sense, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops. And from lust, anger arises. Text 63. From anger, complete delusion arises. And from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material world. Hare Krishna.
Text 64. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. Text 65. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. Hare Krishna.
Text 66. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Text 67. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence.
Text 68. Therefore, Almighty Armed, one whose senses are restrained from the object is certainly of the study of intelligence. Text 69. What is night? What is night for all beings in the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings and night for the introspective sage? Hare Krishna.
Text 70. Text 70. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Text 71. A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship, and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace.
Indeed, too. That is the way of the spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. If one is thus situated at even the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So what did we all hear in this new half section? There were a lot of new things, right?
Do your action continuously and don't be too much attached with the fruitive results. Just continue doing the work.
Good.
Yeah.
Person free from desires. So who has given up all his desires and sense gratification, free from all his desires, who has given up all his sense of proprietorship, develops of the false ego. He alone can attain. That's what it is.
It's an awful lot to give up, right?
Lot to give up.
Yes.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, please.
Oh, what I found really interesting was that the progression from intelligence to the loss of intelligence, because you're given to your senses, to from the lust comes anger, loss of memory, and then loss of memory, loss of intelligence, and then so that's the end. So that was very illuminating to have it put that way. So yeah, that was quite revealing.
It's a cycle, yeah.
I had a comment. I think for me, I'm reading this for the first time. There's some confusion, because if you look at it, like in the tech world, we are kind of constantly putting goals, setting up ambition. Okay, you have one house, maybe now you can invest and get another property, or if you have a house, maybe you can remodel and make it better. So I'm a little confused with like all this thing. This says have no desire. Does that mean like do nothing? So it's not clear to me.
No, because Arjuna is about to say that Arjuna is actually, he sat down and said, I'm not going to fight, right? In the first half. And Krishna did not say, oh, very good. No desire to win the war. Very good, very good. Krishna didn't say that. Krishna said, you get up and fight, right? So one of the things that we need to keep in mind, and which was the verse that our Sutapa Mataji pointed out as part of the reflection, and I'm going to just bring that up in verse number 47 here, where it says that you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, right? But you're not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So either way, he's saying, you have to do your duty. Don't get attached to the fact that, oh, I'm into devotional service, I don't have to do this. I won't do my duties of a householders. You are in a household, so what are my duties? I will not do that. And ambition also, again, yes, it's okay to have ambitions, even in the material world, but one way that you can Krishnaize your ambitions is by linking them with Krishna. So all of us know that money does not bring us happiness. And in the verses that we read, Krishna said that, right? That, you will not get peace of mind. And when you don't have peace of mind, how will you get happiness? So the more we climb up the hierarchy in our organizational structure, we know that unhappy lies the head that wears the crown. So there are more problems in life. There are more responsibilities. There's more politics up there, right? So the mind will never be at peace. So where is that happiness? So happiness, we think that this is going to give us happiness, but it doesn't give you happiness. The concept of happiness is in our mind, right? So we think that we are doing it, and that's the sad part, right? I mean, I still remember that when I was just a junior engineer in my first company, I think that was the happiest time of my life because I had no major responsibilities. I didn't care how the company was doing and things like that. As long as they paid me and I could shut off my files in my head at 5 o'clock in the evening, I was just happy to go back home, right, and spend time with my family. So, but then as you grow up and our responsibilities go, but then it was never that I didn't want a promotion. I actually worked hard to get that, and then you get it, and then you realize like, oops, oh, I didn't expect that. So this is the sad part of our lives, that we focus on enjoying things, and with that focus in mind, we try to progress in life. So I want to have a promotion. I'm setting goals in my life. I want to remodel my house because I want a bigger bedroom. I want a bigger living room. I want a bigger kitchen. Why do I want a bigger kitchen? Because I want to be able to have two stove burners in there so that I can cook 8 dishes at the same time. And I want to have 4 ovens so that I can get something more going on. And then my whole family will sit down and we will enjoy the dinner together like that. So this is what, a large portion of the society does that. That is the reason they want to progress. But because we are focusing on the result, because we want things for ourselves, that is why it becomes so difficult for us. Because The moment you start thinking, Prahlad Maharaj says in Bhagavatam, the moment you start planning to be happy, your distress starts from that point onwards. Isn't that amazing? Give me an example of what will make you happy. And let's start planning towards that and see how it will make us unhappy.
I can share a story.
There you go. Today's story day.
So for Corona, like we are like 5 people in the house, 3 kids and 2 adults working from home, and I don't have a dedicated office space. So I decided to convert one of my front family rooms into a study. And so now I'm doing the construction and the remodeling. So that's why it was coming from that. And now I'm looking forward to setting up my table there and having my mug of coffee and having a nice space for myself to work and read and all that. So yeah, I'm doing this because I saw a need and I made a design to get there, and I'm looking forward to enjoying that space. So I don't know how it translates to what we are reading today.
How it translates to what you're reading. So the first thing is, how does the anxiety come in, right? The anxiety will come in when the workers who are working don't show up.
Yeah.
The prices go up. And when the workers, 90% of the work they will do, they'll get another project and leave you hanging. So they do all that kind of stuff. Then sometimes, we might think that having a private area in the home where I can go and lock myself might be a good thing, but then that also loses the touch with the rest of the family. Right? So what this verse basically saying, and Krishna will also say that in subsequent chapters of Bhagavad-gita, is that the moment you change your focus from you to the focus turns to Krishna, then it becomes very easy. And then the anxiety goes away. And the example that Prabhupada gives is that when a person is a teller in a bank, right? A person is working as a teller in the bank. He counts so much of money throughout the day, so much of money, currency, notes, crisp ones, soggy ones, those with tape on it, they all pass through his hands. He counts, gives them, puts them away like that. At the end of the day or during the day itself, he's not bothered. He's not bothered that how much money is coming into the bank, because he has no stake in it. It belongs to the bank. It doesn't belong to him. So the moment we also start changing our focus in life and changing the way we think into everything really belongs to Krishna and it is meant for Krishna's enjoyment, right? Then the whole mood changes and becomes different. For example, if I were to say that I want to model my house because I want to make my altar a little bigger, then believe me, it's a very joyful state. The joy is very different, and you will taste it because you have got a Bhagavatam in your home now. Very soon you will start tasting that. And slowly that will happen. And then people are thinking, from morning itself, they are thinking about, what should I cook for Krishna? What should I cook for Krishna? What should I make? And things like that. So if you are doing things for Krishna and then you desire a bigger kitchen, it's okay because you're doing it for Krishna, right? So that is the shift that we need to do in our thinking, and that gives you a guaranteed happiness. Because then it's like, I was doing it for Krishna, it did not happen, then it is easy for us to say, right? It's easy for us at that point to say, okay, Krishna did not want it. On the other hand, if I wanted something for myself and it didn't happen, then it's very difficult for us to accept the fact that Krishna did not want it that way, right? So it's all about changing from outward looking to inward looking and looking into the super soul. And we know of devotees in our congregation, Sulekha Mataji, who work hard, but set up a company, work hard from the morning till night, like crazy hours, right? And the only reason that they are working these crazy hours is that they want to make money so that they can donate to the temple. So there are people like that. So that's why in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says, Api chet suduracharo bhaste mam ananya bhak sadhur eva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. So he says that, if you see devotees doing what you would think as abominable behavior, one would say that you are already a devotee. You already read the Bhagavad-gita. You already read the Bhagavatam. After reading all that, what made you go and establish a company of your own? Everybody knows that how startups are and how difficult it is to run a startup, right? Like that. What makes you do that? Somebody might start passing judgments in their head when they see a devotee do that, but you never know what is the purpose and the reason behind why they are doing these things. They have put Krishna in the center, and then Krishna will, bless them.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. That really helped.
Yeah, you're welcome. So that's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. It changes the way that you think, and the environment around you will not change. The things around you will not change. It's not that the temperatures are going to go down. It's just that we have learned how to react to it.
Right.
Here in the verse, Krishna said that even one of the roaming senses of a man, right, who's trying to discriminate, even one of the roaming senses is going to carry away his mind to various far off places, right? Now, can anybody give me an example of how a person's one roaming sense of a person carried him away many, many years out of devotional service? One roaming sense. A very famous story. Today's story time.
Yes, Mataji. When Vishwamitra was meditating, and suddenly Urvashi's one ankle, this thing, that noise came, and he got bewildered. His hearing it, and his meditation stopped. Hare Krishna.
Very good.
He got bewildered.
Yes, one roaming sense. He had his eyes closed. Think of it. He's meditating for 10,000 years. He's got his eyes closed, but his ears are so sharp that he catches the sound of the ankle bells of Menaka. And that's it. He marries her as a child and all that, right? So it is difficult. It is difficult. And so that's why we need association. We need the dahi to go into the milk, as Sutapa Mataji pointed out, so that our senses are not agitated. We calm it down. And the good news is that, if you chant the Hare Krishna mantra, it helps a lot in calming. It helps a lot. You might not see results instantaneously, Sulekha, but over a period of time when you do that, you will see the changes, because the changes are imperceptible. So it's not like a drastic change that you got a haircut and you can see the difference. But over a period of time, you see our thing changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mataji, the Bhagavati Panchaka prayer is also sometimes help. Like if you recite it.
and Vijayalakshmi Mataji will say something else, right? Her favorite is something else. Yeah, as long as it's the name of Krishna, it always helps. Like that. Yeah. So it is, Sulekha Mataji, back to your question, because I think I need to explain that, is that it is not it is not that we should not have any ambitions. I mean, for example, if a person has got a family, right? He has to earn money. He has to do his job properly. And kids will grow, your expenses will grow. So you will need to go and rise to the next level in your career also, right? What Krishna here is saying is that even after you worked so hard and applied for wanted to be promoted and did not get promoted, how to handle that situation is what Krishna is saying. Krishna is saying that karmanevadhikaraste, you have a right to do the duty, but you don't have the right to talk about what the result should be, because the results in the material realm come according to the karma, and karma is the only thing that will explain that why that stupid one in the office gets promoted and then we don't get promoted, although we work.
Oh my God. So true.
Only karma. Yes, it's only the knowledge of karma. It's only that knowledge.
Yeah.
And Shraddha Mataji, in the next verse itself, it says that if you abandon your attachment to success or failure, then and just perform your duty, then you will become like a yogi.
Yes. So yogi, that doesn't necessarily mean that I grow a beard and then I get my ribs start showing because I'm not eating and things like that. You can be yogi right there, wherever you are.
You'll just be equanimous in your.
Yeah, very good. So, and which is a difficult thing. Like you can go to the Himalayas and you can sit up in the Himalayas with nobody around to agitate you, and nobody has got opulences. So where there is the envy, right? Things like that. But the reality is that when we are living here in midst of citizenry, then people will agitate us. And that agitation and that their behavior, which could be insulting towards us, or they could be ignoring us, insulting us, and being rude to us like that, those kind of situations when they arise in our life are actually moments where we can learn something. Those are moments where we will learn what Krishna told Arjuna in the 14th verse of the same chapter that we're doing. He said, Tam titikshasya bharata, learn how to tolerate. And the more that we learn how to tolerate these upheavals or tensions of material world, the more you learn how to tolerate that, the stronger you become in your devotional service. So when there is nobody to agitate me up in the Himalayas, what will I do? I'm just sitting with my mind, and I might just sit there in my mind, and the mind can still here and there and everywhere, right? I can think of things and get agitated like that. So idea is to become purified, and reversals in life do purify us. They do purify us. And so we have to remember that when reversals in life are coming, when you're trying to put on a shoe, tolerate it if it doesn't go on your leg, and don't throw it away like that, as little Ellie was doing, like that. So it's all about and then, like I was telling to Surekha Mataji, that when you go into Krishna consciousness, the things around you do not change. It's not that the weather will improve. It's not that because I'm chanting, everybody will start behaving nicely with me. They will still be showing up the same. If somebody was lousy to you, they will still be displaying the same lousy behavior to you. What will change will be my reaction to it. The thinking, feeling, willing, and acting, right? That part changes. The willing part changes. Because now I have got gyan, I have got the knowledge to understand what exactly is going on. And that knowledge comes from scriptures. And Krishna gave a lot of such knowledge to Arjuna, right? In the first 38 verses that we read. What knowledge did you get from there? Do you remember?
We are body, we are soul, not body.
We are the soul and not the body, right? Yes, you got that. What else did you learn? Namasya?
The other one? Do you want another one?
Yes, I want all.
This is correct, but do your duty and don't get attached to the results.
Okay, that is what we read today.
We are the soul. No, we should learn to tolerate like the seasons. Things come and go.
Okay.
Happiness and distress.
Yeah.
The soul is indestructible and immutable.
Yes, very good. What else?
And Mataji, Krishna tells Arjuna, always perform your duty, never avoid it, and do it for the satisfaction of Krishna. Because if we do all our duties or all our actions in working in Krishna consciousness, then we'll be free from the bondage of work, and it's auspicious and inauspicious results as well.
Good. So that is something we read today or earlier?
Mataji, 38 verse, I think so. Always perform your actions according to the desire of Krishna. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions. Last verse.
In the purport,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Krishna didn't say that explicitly. Yeah, Krishna takes a little while to say that loudly. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yes, Mataji, I really like Krishna said that, and Krishna said that.
Can you hear Rashana Mataji? Were you able to
look at this, describe it as amazing. Can you hear me, Mataji?
Yeah,
no, I think you're breaking up. Yeah.
Your voice is breaking up.
Yeah. I said, Mataji, the text 29, it says that the soul is amazing. Some look at it as amazing. Some hear of it as amazing. But some, after hearing it also do not realize what it is. And so it is like that, you see, Mataji, that I always feel that people know about it and still do not realize it. Even we, after hearing also, Mataji, we don't realize it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one thing to know and another thing is to realize it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we have to go for realized knowledge.
Yes. Realize. We have to go for realize.
Yeah. Something is wrong with the sound system today. Yeah. What else?
You cannot cut into pieces the soul.
Okay. What about Arjuna? If Arjuna doesn't do his duty, what does Krishna tell him there?
As a Kshatriya, you will incur dishonor.
He will incur sin.
And if he does it, what will happen? If he does his duty, what will happen?
Dishonor is worse than death.
No, if he does it, if he does
Oh.
his duty. Yeah.
Enjoy the
Sorry,
heavenly
Mataji.
kingdom.
The planets.
Yeah. In the process of doing his duty, two things can happen, right? What can happen?
Yeah. Either he can
And
enjoy
tainted with
the
blood.
planet.
One at a time.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Either he will go to heaven or he will enjoy the earthly kingdom.
There you go. All right. So he also told us about that. Okay, now let's go into the verse. We'll at least get started with this verse today. It's a long verse. We'll read and then tomorrow we'll continue. Not tomorrow, but on Thursday we will continue. Okay. So whose turn is it to read?
My turn, Mataji, but it is 2.39.
2.39. Yeah. Thank you so much for reminding me that. Yeah.
Should I start, Mataji?
Yes, please. I'm waiting for you.
Esha te vihita shankhya buddhir imam shruno buddhya yakto ya partha karma bandham prahashashi.
Yes. Asia, all this stay unto you, Abhihita described, Sankhya by analytical study, Buddhi, intelligence, Yoga, in work without fruitive result. But Imam, this, Shruno, just here, Buddhya, by intelligence, Yuktaha, dovetailed, Yaya, by which, Parth, O son of Pṛthā, Karma Bandham, bondage of reaction, Prahasyasi, you can be released from. Hari.
Please after Varshana Mataji. Shulekha Mataji.
Shulekha Mataji.
So, should I read the translation?
Yes.
Okay. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Pṛthā, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works.
That's good. Somebody else will read the purports. Who's after Shulekha Mataji?
Vijay Lakshmi Mataji.
Krishna. Purport. According to the Nirukti or the Vedic dictionary, Sankhya means that which describes things in detail, and Sankhya refers to the philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul, and yoga involves controlling the senses. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on sense gratification. Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to cease fighting because He thought that by not killing his relatives and kinsmen, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom after conquering his cousins and brothers, the sons of Dhritarashtra. In both ways, the basic principles were for sense gratification. Happiness derives from conquering them, and happiness derives by seeing kinsmen alive, or both on the basis of personal sense gratification. Even at a sacrifice of wisdom and duty, Krishna therefore wanted to explain to him basis of personal sense gratification.
No, I wanted to explain to
Arjuna that by killing the body of his grandfather, he would not be killing the soul proper. And he explained that all individual persons, including the Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They were individuals in the past, they are individuals in the present, and they will continue to remain individuals in the future, because all of us are individual souls eternally. We simply change our dress in bodily dress in different manners, but actually, where am I? But actually, we keep our individuality even after liberation from the bondage of material dress. An analytic study of the soul and the body has been very graphically explained the Lord Krishna. And this descriptive knowledge of the soul and the body from different angles of vision has been described here in Sankhya. In terms of the Nirukti dictionary, this Sankhya has nothing to do with the Sankhya philosophy of the atheist Kapila. Long before the impostor Kapila's Sankhya, the Sankhya philosophy was expounded in the Srimad Bhagavatam by the true Lord Kapila, the incarnation of the Lord Krishna, who explained it to his mother Devhuti. It is clearly explained by him that the Purusha or the Supreme Lord is active, and that he creates by looking. Can you move it, Mataji? I cannot read that. Looking over Prakriti. This is accepted in the Vedas and in the Gita. The description in the Vedas indicates that the Lord glanced over the Prakriti or nature and impregnated it with atomic individual souls. All these individuals are working in the material world for sense gratification. And another, the spell of material energy, they are thinking of being enjoyers. This mentality is dragged to the last point of liberation when the living entity wants to become one with the Lord. This is the last snare of Maya, or sense gratification illusion, and it is only after many, many births of such sense gratification activities that a great soul surrenders unto Vasudeva, Lord Krishna, thereby fulfilling the search after the ultimate truth. Hare Krishna.
Arjuna has already accepted Krishna as his spiritual master by surrendering himself onto him. Shishyas Sudhi Mam Tvam Prapannam. We tell him about the working process in Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga, or in other words, the practice of devotional service only for the sense gratification of the Lord. The Buddhi Yoga is clearly explained in chapter 10, verse 10, as being direct communion with the Lord, who is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart. But such communion does not take place without devotional service. One who is therefore situated in devotional or transcendental loving service to the Lord, or in other words, in Krishna consciousness, attains to this stage of Buddhi Yoga by the special grace of the Lord. The Lord says, therefore, that only to those who are always engaged in devotional service out of transcendental love does he award the pure knowledge of devotion in love. In that way, the devotee can reach him easily in the ever blissful kingdom of God. Hare Krishna.
Thus, the Buddhi Yoga mentioned in this verse is the devotional service of the Lord, and the word Sankhya mentioned herein has nothing to do with the atheistic Sankhya Yoga enunciated by the impostor Kapila. One should not, therefore, misunderstand that the Sankhya Yoga mentioned herein has any connection with the atheistic Sankhya, nor did that philosophy have any influence during that time, nor would Lord Krishna care to mention such godless philosophical speculations. Real Sankhya philosophy is described by Lord Kapila in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but even that Sankhya has nothing to do with the current topics. Here, Sankhya means analytical description of the body and the soul. Lord Krishna made an analytical description of the soul just to bring Arjuna to the point of Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, Lord Krishna's Sankhya and Lord Kapila's Sankhya, as described in the Bhagavatam, are one and the same. They are all Bhakti Yoga. Lord Krishna said, therefore, that only the less intelligent class of men make a distinction between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Sankhya Yoga Pṛthā balaha pravadanti na padintaha. Panditaha.
Who's next?
Oh, Namasha, me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Of course, atheist Sankhya Yoga has nothing to do with Bhakti Yoga. Yet, the intelligent claim that the atheistic Sankhya Yoga... Unintelligent claim that the atheistic Sankhya Yoga is referred to in the Bhagavad-gita. Did I go on?
Ask the other person.
Yeah, yes, Mataji, Namaste. Go ahead, yes.
Okay. One should therefore understand Buddhi Yoga means to work in Krishna consciousness. In the full bliss and knowledge of devotional service, one who works for the satisfaction of the Lord only. However difficult such work may be, is working under the principles of Buddhi Yoga and finds himself always in transcendental bliss. By such transcendental engagement, one achieves all transcendental understanding automatically by the grace of the Lord, and thus his liberation is complete in itself, without his making extraneous endeavor to acquire knowledge. There is much difference between work in Krishna conscience and work for fruitive results, especially in the matter of sense gratification for achieving results in terms of family or material happiness. Buddhi Yoga is therefore the transcendental quality of the
some noises coming?
I'm sorry?
Oh.
The transcendental quality of the work that we perform. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so this is a big this was a big purport by Prabhupada. It's a very important verse also in the Bhagavad-gita. And like I said yesterday, that he had been talking about karma kandi activities and things like that, and then he went into karma yoga, and now in this verse he's climbing the yoga ladder and he's gone up to bhakti yoga, right? So we will stop here today and we will continue on Thursday with the same. There's a lot more to talk and a lot more to discuss here, but I'll just take one reflection before I stop it. And while you're thinking of what to share, I'd also like to welcome those who are on Facebook, including Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu, Achita Radhe Mataji was there, but she leaves, Vijay Lakshmi Nair Mataji, Sashirekha Mataji, Hemlata Mataji, Barsha Shrestha Mataji. Oh wow, she has also been sharing her reflections. There you go. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook. Yes, reflection. One reflection. Anything that you heard? It's stuck.
Yes, Mataji. When you work, Hare Krishna, Mataji. When you work without expecting any fruitive result, that is the that if you act in that knowledge, then you are free from the bondage of any duty, any work which you do.
You do, right? Okay, so that's a good point to leave on, because we will continue and talk this thing more in detail tomorrow about bondage of work and how work can cause bondage.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Fantastic. So I'll take your leave here now. I have some more meetings coming up. and by the way, Vaisheshika Prabhu is giving he's having a webinar on this Saturday at 7 o'clock in the morning on reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And I will post that information on our WhatsApp group, so that it's by invitation only or by registration only. So because those who register for the seminar will get a link that you will access the link to join the webinar. And the webinar can get full. So you might have to just then be watching it on
Yeah,
Facebook.
what are the timings, Mataji?
Mataji, it is there on our WhatsApp group also for his disciples. Just you will get all the details there, right? But for those who are, who are not on that disciple group, I would really love to share that. So I will share this on the WhatsApp group that we have for this Bhakti Vriksha, right? That we do. So you'll get the Sana Mataji from there.
Okay.
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Go Premanande.
Hari Bol.
Hare.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji.
Fantastic.